Ken Trahan with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank weekend preview brought to you by First NBC Bank with 32 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. An interesting weekend begins with high school football Friday night. Many great games all throughout the metropolitan area, but the biggest of which, unquestionably, and one of the biggest of the year, is a battle of unbeatens and top-ranked teams as the Newman Greenies will host the Riverside Rebels at Lupin Field. 7 p.m. game. You can watch it live at SportsNOLA.com. Tape delayed Saturday at noon on WHNO TV 20, and what a great game this is, Lenny.
Should shape up to be a good one. It was a terrific game last year. It looked like it was going to be a blowout. Riverside ran out to a 35-7 lead. Newman came storming back. It was 35-28. They recovered an onside kick, got to the 3-yard line, one untimed down, and Jay Tyler threw an interception in the end zone on the final play of the game. We've got that kind of game Friday night. The viewers, both on SportsNOLA and WHNO, you're in for a treat. Two terrific teams, two of the best teams in 2A who will move on to the Division III playoffs. It should be outstanding.
Really good. LaPere had a gigantic game at quarterback for Newman last week. Jay Tyler's been playing at wide receiver due to an injury. Still very good. Kendall Bussey, outstanding. And on the Riverside side, Loving, the freshman quarterback's been outstanding. His receivers are off the charts. McGee, Julian, and company. Skill everywhere. I guarantee you points will be scored. Check it out. Friday night, 7 p.m. on SportsNOLA.com. Saturday at noon, WHNO TV 20. Pelicans win a preseason game last night, scored a lot of points. That's good news. First time they got a chance to play at home in their newly refurbished, new-look arena, the Smoothie King Center, which, by the way, we say that every year, I think.
Doesn't it seem that way? But you know what? It's an arms race. It really is. And you've got to constantly keep things up, whether you're making improvements to the Dome or to the Smoothie King Center, whatever it is, you've got to keep doing things to, enhance the fan experience, so to speak. And technology being what it is, it's really incrementally ratcheted up because you've got to keep up with technology, whether it's Wi-Fi or whether it's the screens that you're putting in there. All of those types of things, you've got to keep doing that. And obviously, this is a lot of brick and mortar on the outside, a brand new entrance to the Smoothie King Center on the side nearest Champion Square. And, a lot of other, inside the bowl experiences, a new floor. So it's a lot of good things, and the product seems to be pretty good at this point as well.
Yeah, good performance at home, and they have a lot of depth at guard. They have some decisions to make, and it's going to be fun to watch what unfolds. College football, it all starts Saturday morning in Orlando. ESPNU, it's Tulane against Central Florida. Green Wave coming off of a solid win, but, Lenny, they're stepping up in class here.
They really are in terms of their league, and as we mentioned on Monday, it doesn't get any easier from this point on in terms of what you're going to face in your league. Even these so-called best chances remaining on the schedule, Memphis and Temple, are pretty good. The teams you got to play on the road are all very good, in UCF, Houston down the road, and then East Carolina, who's in the top 20 right now. And in between there, you've got Cincinnati coming in. So no more cupcakes, if you will, for Tulane the rest of the way. And it starts on Saturday with a UCF team that is 1 year removed from winning the Fiesta Bowl. Yeah, Blake Bortles is in Jacksonville now, but this is still a pretty physical team. This has been the kind of team that Tulane is, has struggled to handle, and we'll see how it plays out. They don't have off-the-charts numbers. Let's see if Tulane can parlay that type of performance that they had last week, reminiscent of what we saw in 2013, into a solid effort on Saturday.
And then, of course, Saturday evening, LSU at home against Kentucky. The Tigers need another win to get bowl eligible, and they got a good road win at Florida. Can they continue the momentum? Typically, you'd say LSU beats Kentucky, but Coach Stoops has Kentucky playing quite well.
This is not your sister's Kentucky or your brother's or your father's Kentucky, whatever it is. It is a different Kentucky team than what we've seen in the past, and it is, going to be a better product out there than what you're used to seeing from the Wildcats. That said, can LSU take what they did a week ago in Gainesville and parlay it into a second consecutive solid effort? Do we continue to see more and more of Leonard Fournette getting the football? A lot of that will be dictated by the game. It was interesting to hear Les Miles on Monday talk about how he used his quarterbacks, and really he wanted to use two quarterbacks, but game situation just never dictated getting them both in the game. And he stuck with, went the distance with Jennings, as it were. So, do we see Harris a little bit on Saturday? I think he may look for a spot to do it.
I think it's possible. We'll see. Of course, the Saints back in action on Sunday at Detroit against the Lions, and maybe the biggest question about this game is who's on the field. For the Saints, Jimmy Graham, probably not. We'll see. Injury reports, of course, will change daily going into the game. And then Mark Ingram, we'll see. Same story. For the Lions, Megatron, we'll see. Reggie Bush says he'll play. We'll see. Bottom line is you've got some key players on both sides banged up.
You do, and I think this really may come down to defenses. The Saints have got to step up and play better on defense than what they've been playing. This is a Detroit team that has allowed, in the last 4 games, an average of 11 points per game. They haven't faced an offense the likes of the Saints in that span, but that's, still, you've got to step up your game offensively to deal with the defense that's playing at a very high level right now.
Which is why the Lions are favored at home. The Saints have to prove the show-me state is Missouri, but this is the state of Michigan. Saints have to prove that they can win in Michigan because they haven't shown anybody they can win on the road, at least to this point, for quite some time. We'll see how it pans out. We know the records. Sean Payton and the Saints, along with Peyton, because he missed a year, have won 5 straight after byes. We'll see if that streak continues. Lenny, should be a great weekend of sports. Look forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. We'll see you Monday.
All right, that's our First NBC Bank weekend preview brought to you by First NBC Bank with 32 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. For Lenny, I'm Kenny. Have a great weekend. God bless you.